Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a tutor at Sky Academy. We're in the topic of statistical analysis within the Year 11 standard course, and we're looking at relative frequency and probability, which comes under MSS2. So we're going to talk about the range of probabilities and how to solve questions using this range. So we've already kind of had a look about the range of probabilities, because in our previous videos, we had a look at a scale and all the possible outcomes of a scale would lie, all the possible outcomes, of an event would lie on this scale. And so we talked about them being impossible, the likelihood of an event being impossible, of an event being unlikely, of an event being even, of an event being likely, and then the possible outcome of an event being certain. And we use these terms to describe the possibility of an event. So using this scale, we can also talk about the range of probabilities. So an event that is impossible would be 0. An event that is unlikely would have a 0.25% chance. And even would be 0.5 or 50%, 25%, 0.75 chance or 75%, and then an event of certainty would be 1 or 100%. So what this is saying is that the probability of an event is between 0 and 1, or the probability of an event will be greater than 0, so greater than 0, and less than 1. So that means an event is going to sit in between the impossible category to the certain category. An event will sit along this squiggly line somewhere in between there. So that is what the range of our probability is. Range of our probability is between 0 and 1, where 0 is impossible and 1 is certain. So when we are doing questions for the range of probability, you use this formula here. Let me erase that so I can highlight this. Where A, B are possible outcomes or events. So what that means is if you have a possible or probability of an event occurring that is, let's say, 25%, you have another possibility of 50%, and you have another possibility that is unknown. What is the possibility of the unknown event? We can use this formula doing simple algebra to find the unknown event. You just take away from 1. So sorry, this should be 25% or 50%. There should be a percent sign in there. So when we take away, we would be the probability of an unknown event would be 1 minus 25% minus 50%. So we know algebra, when you take to the other side, you do the opposite. So if there are pluses here, we do minus on the other side. So then it will leave us with a probability of the unknown event to be 25%. Because we know 100 is 1 is just 100%, and 0.25 is 25%, and 50 is 0.5 is 50%. So that's how we use that formula. You just sub in what you do know and solve for what you don't know using simple algebra. So let's have a go at doing a question. Oops. So we know in this question that was taken from the Cambridge textbook that a box contains red, yellow, and blue cards. The probability of selecting a red card is 3/5, and the probability of selecting a yellow card is 1/10. what is the probability of selecting a blue card? So firstly, we're going to write out our formula using this context. So the probability of selecting, oops, you went too far. The probability, of selecting a red card plus the probability of selecting a yellow card plus the probability of selecting a blue card is going to equal 1. So that is something to keep in mind when doing these questions. The probability of every event in an experiment, or in the probability of every outcome in an experiment will sum to 1. So all of our possible outcomes, or the probability of every event, is going to sum to 1. So that is why we can use this formula here. So the probability of red plus the probability of a yellow card plus the probability of a blue card is going to equal 1. So now we can sub in what we do know. We know the probability of selecting a red card is 3/5, plus the probability of selecting a yellow card is 1/10, plus the probability of selecting a blue card, which is what we don't know. So we don't know what the blue card is. That's what we've been asked to find. So now we can solve for this equation to find the probability of a blue card. So we can do the probability of a blue card equals 1 minus 3/5 minus 1/10. Because as we know, when we take to the other side, we do the opposite. So if this is a positive 1/10, we'll do the opposite for a negative 1/10. So now we can solve. And 1 minus 3/5 minus 1/10 is going to leave us with the probability of 3/10. So you can just solve that on your calculator. You can put this value in the box into your calculator and it should give you 3/10. So that's how you do the range of probabilities from 0 to 1, knowing that the probability of every event will sum to 1 to find the unknown likelihood of an outcome, where you sub in what you know to find for what you don't know.